My man Mtashed crash out is already last week. Welcome to Internet Brain Rot. Welcome to a drama so cooked. Even Mtashed subscribed. In today's video, we have a massive day for the unemployed, plus a bit of nostalgia, man, because when you see Tectone and Mtashed, especially if you've been around the gacha space, around Genshin days, you can't help but reminisce on what were good times. I feel like they were good times. People didn't really have this agenda of pushing one game over the other, etc. People would complain about this one game. People would want the development of just this one game that everybody shared passion for, and that's it. People didn't do this whole shilling and botting where they associate their own self-worth and their own value to a video game product as a coping mechanism to earn points online because they happen to be, let's just say, lost individuals, unfortunately, because of lackings they have in their social life. So I want to go over what Mtashed said about good old Techie Meki over here, because in case you haven't heard, Mtashed is losing the plot. Mtashed is all over the place. Is just going insane over there. I don't know why he's lowering himself to this degree, why he's, for the lack of better word, lost so much in the plot. But here we are, man. It's a sad thing to see for me personally, because I used to really like Mtash back in the day. I really did. But when you look at him right now and you look at some of the behavior he's exhibiting, it's just weird. I feel like the spirit on what he's attempting to do is good, but one must admit, yeah, you're a little, the way you're going about it is just not really it. So without further ado, this shit is 42 minutes long. We're gonna be here for a bit. I have a lot to dissect, so let's jump in. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to not miss any updates.
I guess I better go subscribe to VXV Gotcha.
I lost everything. My wife did just leave me as well. It's over, and I never should have attacked Asmongold. I never should have said anything about him. I should have attacked his arguments, not him.
This is sarcasm. This is Mtash sarcasm. If some of you guys are not, let's just say, familiar with his content, how he does things, this is his sarcasm.
And that loser Tectone, I should have never, ever, ever talked to that guy. That was a big mistake.
Oh, shit.
Let's have a little chat. I gain nothing from making this video, really. It's actually a lose-lose situation in almost every situation. Content creation on drama is an infinite money glitch. Because if I respond to the drama, I lose. If I don't respond to the drama, I lose.
No, you can respond and win. And sometimes not responding is winning. What? No, I have to strongly disagree here. Because sometimes you can just keep doing your thing. And if someone, okay, think about it like this. Does that drama benefit you? If the answer is no, then you have no business interacting with it whatsoever. And if the type of audience if the drama audience isn't what you're trying to attract, then it's not, you don't lose shit. If anything, it's a purge from some of the people in your channel. That's it. Easy. Like, I don't know why he's looking at it as just a complete lose. Yeah, yes, of course, it's a bit of an L, because if someone tarnishes your name and kind of messes with your reputation, it can be a little tricky. Sure, it can be a little tricky.
And whoever makes the last video, for the most part, wins, because they can provide context that wasn't there, or they can break down and dismantle arguments that maybe weren't even being made. It's a very tough situation to be. I
sure,
most
100%
don't win, no matter what I say or no matter what I do. I can't convince you, and I won't ever change your opinion. The heels are dug in, and I get that. If I attack your favorite content creator, and I call him a slime ball or whatever it is, and mentally ill, whatever it is, I understand the want to attack me. And all that stuff. And so I'll at least explain my thought process a little here. And I will attack the arguments a little bit more head on instead of being an emotional cuck.
That's a good idea. I hope everything gets better for him. Genshin fans had him by the balls. The problem is Mtashed didn't know how to convert them into different things. People had Genshin fans, and for the most part, they converted a lot of them into, fans of themselves, like for the personality. It's just that Mtashed's personality wasn't really highlighted too much in his content, and I feel like he suffered from that in the long run. So it's sad to say and sad to see, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
I understand that there's nuance to these things, and people want to argue their points, and it is what it is. But
yeah,
my official take on it is, when I read this is a very inflammatory comment that is, in my opinion, either rage bait or ignorant or just straight up rude and doesn't need to be said.
I'll be honest, it all comes down to the ultimate goal, because there's an argument to be made, because I pondered on this some more. The fact that Asmongold said it the way he did, it definitely makes people talk about the problem, because the more mannered you are in your approach, the less likely some people will interact with the message, all right? but the more, let's just say, harsh you are in your messaging, the more likely people will interact with your stuff. And that creates the conversation you want to happen, which is a good thing. Now, will we get to the results? Well, to get to the results, we unfortunately have to navigate the emotional part of it, because a lot of people are very emotional when it comes to topics like this. And that's where some of the problems start.
That is kind of one of the overarching things here is with content creation. I'm going to bring up the notepad one more time here. I think that most big creators have something wrong with their brain, me included, because there's kind of two faces to this.
How so?
If you're a multi-millionaire and you
Okay.
don't like doing what you're doing.
Okay, so not all content creators are multimillionaires. Trust me, I know. I don't know why he thinks all of us are multimillionaires. He's too high, Chad. He doesn't look at the bottom. He doesn't look at us trying to climb this mountain, man. He doesn't care.
Then you have the freedom to stop. And that is actually one of the things I will discuss later on in the video about YouTube is I am set for life.
Or we're not content creators, Chad. We're just not there. We don't deserve the title.
I don't want to play certain games. I'm having trouble making games, so I just have stopped. I make a video here and there, and I'm lost. I have this thing in my brain that has been like, I don't know what to do now. And we'll get more into that later. But then
that sounds like a you problem. I don't think that sounds like a overarching CC problem. That sounds like a you problem.
There's the other side of it where if you look at other huge streamers, I will throw in other names, XQC, Asmongold, even Tectone. These people that are set for life. And I'm not saying XQC or Asmongold or Tectone does it worse or better or whatever it is, but unless you get joy out of making people rage, then it makes my brain question, well, what's the point of it? Like what do you gain from saying something like this?
Well, because there's a huge, okay, for me, I feel like the ultimate result we got from this is women should be encouraged to pursue traditional roles. Because for the longest time, women have been shamed for trying to pursue traditional roles. Oh, you're a pick-me, look at you little baby. And it's other women shaming the woman that tries to pursue that. So that should just stop. That should just stop. Just allow women to pursue whatever they want. All right. Yes, the prostitute part is inflammatory, but unfortunately true. It's sad to say out loud, but it is true. Predominantly, prostitutes are females. They're the ones that have the most success. It's like we see with not safe for work content online. And obviously, when it comes to the real life sex working, women are going to have more success than guys, just like the consumers of sex work and not safe for work content as a whole is predominantly guys. That's just stats. That's just the way things are.
Or from these things. This whole thing, and I'm talking from both sides. What does Hassan have gaining from these things? Like, no one on Twitch is solving anything, bro. No one on Twitch is becoming a politician. No one is changing policy. It is all performative to make money.
I always thought like maybe one day they're kind of setting themselves up to one day get into politics, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think what's going to happen is they have like a certain degree of influence where they can influence a huge audience to help. They can make or break a politician, which is true power. So maybe that's the ultimate goal. Or it's simple as there are a bunch of guys that have beliefs. They happen to be very popular and they just share their beliefs on what should and shouldn't be. That could be that too. Just like any other person online, on the comments, wherever.
Everyone is getting farmed. I'm one of them. There is going to be multiple videos made on this. They're going to make some money off it. I am feeding into the system here. It is an infinite money glitch. And I know that's why people do it. And even if the data backs up some of...
Covering video games too is also an infinite money glitch. Because every time a video game come out, which will keep happening due to the incentive of companies to keep making video games because they can be profitable, too profitable in fact sometimes, you as well are having an infinite money glitch. Everybody's looking for an infinite money glitch. What's the problem with that? You know what I mean? Performative Canadian, I know what he said there, but talks about performative CCs. Mtashed definitely comes off performative. He comes off jealous and a lot of things. Unfortunately, it's so sad to see, but that is kind of an unnecessary thing to say. Like saying what men do is SA because the majority of SAers are men. Precisely. It's not necessary a thing to say, but it is a reality. It is a reality, man. Whether we like it or not, it is. And based on that reality, we have to, let's just say, proceed accordingly. So sad, but that's just what we have. That's why men especially, I've seen this video, man. It was beautiful. I think it was the Dadvocate. It was this guy he's teaching kids at school, boys. He was teaching boys at school about body language. Like he had a female teacher with him, and he was showing them how no means no, right? And he gave an example of he tried to hug the teacher. The teacher said yes, but her body language said no. And he told the kids, so did she say yes or no? The kids said no because they could tell from the body language that she was saying no. So boys this should be pushed for boys, for example, where we learn about what no means no, and also to counter some of the, let's call a spade, not safe for work content online, especially. You see that, oh no, especially hentai. Like, can we talk real quick about how hentai is literal assault most of the time? It's like the girl is always shocked this guy's doing things, and then she loses control, and out of nowhere, she's now a sex addict because of that one instance. Can we talk about that real quick? Because I feel like that fucks up with guys' heads. And that encourages assault because, oh, well, obviously this works because look at the girl in the anime. She likes that shit. And plus, also, and like in other medias as well, etc. Rarely, but especially, I think I've seen this a lot in hentai, especially. Okay, I don't know what Unc is saying, but if your example made sense, then nobody would be allowed to play GTA. GTA is an avenue where you can do what you want to do. All right, just because something enables you, that's like you're letting off dissatisfaction, right? You're doing what you can't do IRL. You're doing it in game. Some people will fuck their brain up and want to do that. I can do it in game, so therefore I can do it IRL too. Those are a small minority. But for the most part, it has been shown that there's a good correlation between the content you consume, whatever the form, and behavior and general behavior. And so it's very important that for something as dangerous as, let's just say, sexual urges, for them to be, let's just say, more controlled, in tune. There's people are more disciplined when it comes to that stuff because there's all types of content, especially and not safe for work content, and some is good. That's how I learned personally. I remember when I realized I had a problem and I had to move away from it, I started consuming. I kept consuming, but a different type. Right? It's like you fix your diet. You can't stop eating, but you got to eat right. So I started eating right. And what happened is it really rewired some of my perception of what I think is hot or what is good, et cetera, et cetera. And it made me good with my partners, with my future partners. I was a good hit, right? And it's good. It's good. And I feel like we should just encourage people to, let's just say, be more disciplined. Like, feel free to consume, but at least eat the right thing. It's kind of like dieting, but for your brain, if that makes any sense. That's why a lot of people call out certain types of content, like pranksters, a bunch of douchebags, stuff like that, or problematic stuff like misogynistic content, etc., etc.
And actually changing anything. It's just riling people up. And that's not a world that I want to be in. I'm too soft for that. I don't know if I put it in here, but like, I don't want to actually be a drama channel to cover the news. I'm too soft for that. I cry during The Lion King. You know, ever since I had kids, I'm a baby. Let's just be blunt. I don't mind. I'll call myself a baby.
Okay.
But I will also say,
not bad.
with content like this.
See, here's the thing. You can be. I'm kind of soft too. See, me and Mtashed are cut from the same cloth. The difference between us is I understand reality. I know how people function. I understand how society works. I do, at least for the most part, I do my best to understand how society works, and I navigate it accordingly. So I can be soft, but I can't be stupid. That's the thing. I'm soft. I can be a little naive at times in some of my ideologies and what I would love for the world to become, how some people should act, etc. I'm a little utopic. I'm a little naive in that regard, one may say. But I have a realistic approach, and I try to be as smart as possible. Guys will relate the most to this. We try to be as smart as possible in our approach in everything, really. If I'm going to invest time and effort on something, especially money, God forbid, I need to know that what I'm doing is the smartest thing I can be doing. It's very important to us. And that includes me. I can be stupid too. I can be consumer mentality driven too. But the reality is, I like to be as smart as I can. And if I wasn't, then I learn and I get better. And that's it. I'm not going to ignore reality because of my character traits. You either adapt to the world or you die. What makes us human is our adaptability. We can beat bigger animals. We can conquer the planet because of how adaptable we are. If I'm going to go against the goddamn boar, I need a spear. right? Because a sword isn't gonna do it with a bow. I need a spear, so that way I can take my angles and just keep them at a distance. That's very important, and so it goes. Now I'm a menace to society. I believe you.
And with videos like the one I'm making, context also matters, and context is a really tough thing to nail down and not be obstructed. So
they are
in this clip, it might be a little bit too quiet. I don't know why it's so quiet, but Hassan, who, come on guys, I'm not defending Hassan here. I'm like, please, for the love of God, don't make this a Hassan versus Asmongold type thing, because that's not what this is about. But Hassan makes a comment.
I think Asmongold versus Hassan has got to be the biggest beef and the longest lasting beef in internet recent history. I don't see anybody beefing as much as Asmon and Hassan, man. Jesus.
Here about the genetic inferior and
socioeconomic
factors being a cope.
They are.
And Asmongold says they are right after. Some people instantly watch that clip and they say, yo, Asmongold is calling all people that are black genetically inferior. And there's multiple comments that are saying this. There's multiple people saying he should be banned instantly. And that's the tough thing, because once again, with pausing and context and...
Wait, what? Asmongold responds to Hassan and claims black people are genetically inferior and socioeconomic conditions is just cope. He's talking about Somalians, right? Like, am I tripping? I think he was talking about Somalians. Because Somalians, unfortunately, come from a place where education is not a priority. So obviously, because of the lack of education, so I don't know. I think this is taken out of context.
You know, if someone makes a video clarifying things later, it really confuddles this whole thing. Asmongold could very much be agreeing with that statement, but it's more likely that he's agreeing with the socioeconomic statement because he says it right after. But you can't ever fully know what's going on in someone's brain. And that's the crazy part about all of these political YouTubers, is they can also go, what did I mean in that moment? This one, and try to pivot. And you know, he even comes up.
A lot of people called out Asmongold for that. And it's fair criticism, but sometimes this is the problem with tweeting in a text. Like, you don't know the intent, you don't know what they're really trying to say. Correction helps a lot. You know, someone, okay, guys, relax. I know, but this is what I know that was inflammatory, but this is what I actually meant. All right, here it is. I know it was harsh, but this is my intent behind it. All right, let's just calm down. Yes, I did it so that we can have the conversation going, but my intentions are good. It doesn't solve it, but it lessens the negative outlook on it, if that makes any sense.
Says, like, that's not what I was talking about. Sorry, I had to find the tweet. But he says, I was referring to the socioeconomic conditions, not the acquisition that it was genetically inferior. And right, like, there's his stance on it. That's how he feels. And if he does the same thing and he tweets about what he truly meant by this, or he talks about this in stream, or in the video debunking my video, and adds more context, then it just makes me look bad in the initial video, because it's like, well, that's not what he said, you took his words out of context. So I get all of that. And that is the really tough thing to navigate in all of this, is it's very hard to win. You can't win, and I will never win. I don't plan to win, but I will just clarify my statement is, I just personally think shit like this sucks. I think it is super inflammatory, and like, it just seems like the world is going further and further and further down this way. And I understand viewing me as like a white knight or someone who is
I say it's the opposite, no? I would say the world it was softer and softer, but now we're finally reverting back to some harsh reality checks, because some people were living in bubbles and clouds, and now reality is starting to set in, and that helps a lot, you know? Because some people, they be in their bubble, just self-destructing, and this type of stuff is a wake-up call. And also, it also highlights some problems, because like I said earlier, some women are being shamed in wanting to pursue traditional roles, which there's no problem with that. If anything, that's what enabled society to thrive and become what it is today.
I get it. After my video, brothers, I understand, you know, my ego or whatever getting in the way and making it look like I'm good, they're bad, for sure. So I can admit to that. I see where you're coming from.
All
but
right,
I will,
my man.
You know, I'm not going to steer away from that stance. I think
man.
stuff like this is just like so cringe on all sides. Like all of this talk is not helping anybody. It is not changing anyone. And it might change the way people vote long term. Maybe it impacts that down the road. But the actual streamers, they're not going and fighting for change. They're just fighting and butting heads because it is an infinite money glitch.
I don't think so. I think it's just the change. The change they want and the change we're talking about is so socially massive. It's going to take a long time for any change to happen. So it may seem this way, but an army of ants could tear down a wall, but it takes a long time for that ant army to take it down. It takes a long time. He's not wrong. Grifting is an infinite money glitch. Sure, we see that a lot in Hollywood especially, but Is it the case for those two? I'm not too sure, because I feel like they would like to see the change, and they are clearly enjoying the profits they are taking from being in the position they're in. But doesn't mean that they don't necessarily want the change to occur. And think of it this way: if the monetary incentive was gone, do you think both would continue advocating change? That's a very good question.
I guess we'll never know.
They can farm each other endlessly. No matter what, they can just keep making videos, and, you know, I respond, I lose. Because if I talk about this stuff, I'm a cuck, I'm a beta, you took them out of context. If I respond again, I lose, because then they make
No, it's the way you respond. I feel like the messaging is as important.
another video on it. If I'm quiet, I'm a little bitch. I'm a little bitch that didn't defend himself, right? It's impossible. And people dig in their heels, you can't really change them, so I get all of that. But there's also a bit of misinformation out there. And
How so?
there's revisionist history in a lot of things that have happened in the past, especially coming from Tectone, because he really likes to do this. And
Here
I
we
will
go.
compliment the guy. He's incredibly good
So
at
this part was all Asmongold, right? And this is Tectone. All right, here we go.
revisionist theory, at changing how the shit played. And I want to give a few
We're
examples.
going back to the Klee days. Going back to the Venti days, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. Remember them days, chat? Oh man, we're going back to how you can do more damage in Genshin Impact. Oh shit.
I am not going to deep dive into every conversation, and I don't care if he defends each point and he brings up a clip. I just don't.
Oh, he will. 100% he will.
But I'm going to tell you what I see and what I saw for 5 years play out. And,
Okay.
you know, if you haven't been swayed by any of this stuff before, you never will. And that's okay. Like, I'm not your audience. He is your audience. Like, I just don't give a fuck. And I
right,
know it's hard to
good.
believe. So all big creators have something going on in their brain. ADHD, narcissism, there's something that allows them to get to where they are and keep doing what they're doing. I have ADHD. It has allowed me to be an absolute superhero. I can work for 15 hours straight, make 2 videos. When I'm motivated and highly motivated, I can do unbelievable amounts of work and make an immense amount of content that most people can't do.
I think this applies to everybody. Am I crazy? Because I have the same thing too. And I feel like for the most part, most of the people I know, if they have these conditions, they perform the same way. I don't think that's unique to CCs or just a few amount of people. I feel like for the most part, everybody's the same.
And then, you know, as I've gotten older and now that I've got kids and everything, it's harder to do that. I can't keep up with
Yeah.
the content cycle that I used to do.
Yeah, it's called responsibility. They're debuffs, not bad debuffs. So that I'm not misunderstood. They're good debuffs, but they are debuffs.
So this is like in
God damn, that's a lot of money, man. That is a shit ton of money.
As I said earlier, when you are set for life, or you're a multi-millionaire, you can either keep doing what you're doing because you love it, or you get some joy in it, or you just want more money, or you can look for more freedom and spend more time with your family and your kids and your wife and things like that.
Yeah, I feel like this applies to everything, really. Any type of work.
It's so funny when I end up making a video, there's a 3-month gap, I make a video, and then people like Tectone come out and it's like, oh, I thought you're spending time with your wife. It's like, brother, it's so easy to dunk on someone whose channel is floundering or going down. And
Oh yeah, it's easy to point and laugh at someone who's going down. 100%. It's very easy. And you see this a lot in the slop tuber department. Oh, this guy's career is over and this and that, and you look at them and they're just doing fine.
I make guides. And I covered
Yeah.
shooter games, I covered Monster Hunter, but I've made videos for a long time. Years and years and years. These are back in 2015, 2014.
Infinite money glitch. Yeah, infinite money glitch again. So like, let's not try to shame the drama farmers for infinite money glitching, because you are doing that too. So like, let's not be hypocrites here.
And I didn't do a good job building up this brand as much as other content creators have. And I've also jumped games from time to time. Some of my friends like Dado have always played Destiny. They've never...
Yeah, not focusing on just one thing can be very detrimental to you as a CC. I'm noticing that because I'm trying to cover everything gacha, sentiments in the space, etc. It's not as let's just say you don't get as much of a following, of a dedicated following, to be very specific, like a dedicated following, as you do having just one game and you're known for this one thing, a niche. Like you just had to have this one thing. It's very hard. It's very hard. Like you really put yourself in a debuff. For example, and also like just the way you do content, especially that help. That is. Dude, that plays a huge part. So, for example, if we go to my channel here, like you would have noticed if you're keeping up with my channel, I'm trying to cover a lot about what's happening within games. All right, I wanna live up to the things I preach, and because for the longest time, especially during the Saint Mtashed drama, I was saying, yo, let's go back to talking about the games. Isn't that what we should be doing out here? Isn't that what should be happening? So I'm trying to live up to what what I'm preaching, right? But here's what I've noticed: if you talk about drama, right? Because I'm known for drama, and also drama is very popular, of course. It really blows the fuck up, especially if you're early and on time. Except, for example, this one. This one really was a very good wave for my channel. It really was. Like this one, I've caught a lot of eyes on my channel, and you would notice. I think it really helped my channel grow a little bit. And so, but now, of course, it's starting to calm down, etc. And also, there's not much going on within the hype, the excitement in gacha games anymore. So, like now, we just go back to either drama or conversations in this space. That's kind of what I like to cover the most, right? That's what I cover the most. What I'm trying to say here is, if you're known for this one thing, you benefit the most, because I stopped covering drama, and that can hurt my channel a little bit, because for all the drama viewers, they're not going to click on my stuff. They're not going to do that. They don't care about NTE. They don't care about Ananta sometimes. Maybe they don't care about Withering Waves. They're just here for the beef, right? They just come in, plates and forks, everything ready for the beef, right? And if you're not giving them that, they'll walk away. So now, for example, I'm covering NTE, right? And I'm trying to throw in some Ananta there as well. If I start to focus more on Ananta, some of those videos will obviously suffer because of that. That's probably going to happen. And for example, Withering Waves, I stepped away a little bit from Withering Waves, and also I'm not known as a reactor to their videos, etc. So those videos in my channel are just not going to perform the best. They're just not going to do the best. And so when you really focus on one thing, you have a lot to gain. But if you don't, it can be very hard to build a brand like that. Unless you're very well known. For example, Gotcha Smack can just do whatever the fuck he wants, because he's up there. Tectone VS Mtashed, he's up there. They can do whatever they want. They have this benefit because they are established names within the space. If you're not, though, it's very hard. And what's funny to me is how Mtashed is not known as this big gamer, right? Like, he's not known in the mainstream gaming sphere, which I think is a next level type of popularity you need to reach.
And so when you swap games, that's not really good. I'm not going to get into all the theory of it, but that doesn't help. But I also know that as soon as I jump on a game that I'm actually engaged in, I will succeed. Unfortunately, the same thing keeps happening, is I jump on a game like Marathon that I end up not loving. And even though I got okay views, this game wasn't that popular. So I know some of it is that. But I also know that some of it is just, I'm a week or two into it, some people are loving it, and I'm already starting to see the flaws. And I think that
That sounds like a you problem, man. This is the problem with when you cover a game. That's why you have to shill and you have to bot, because your bread is attached to your love and let's just say the common sentiment you have with your audience of loving the game. If you start to not like it and the audience you culminated are just loving the game, they don't relate to you anymore. You're not relatable. Therefore, they'll just dip out. People look for relatability, someone that is like a reflection of themselves and is somewhat better than them.
So after a lot of the Genshin Impact success happened, I was rolling in it. I was, making like 2 mil, 3 mil a year from sponsorship.
Damn, what the fuck? We fucked up, chat. We should have been here in the Genshin boom. We fucked up. We fucked up.
In that one screenshot, in like 2 months, 3 months, I made 300 grand or 200 grand, or whatever the number is. It's a lot, 250. And I was also getting sponsorships on top of that. And my grandfather, unfortunately, died of cancer. And he went very quick. Week 1 of like finding out to week 3 or 4, he had passed. And when we were talking, we had this beautiful conversation, and he was just talking about the family, and you take care of your family, and we were losing him, and he wanted to have some consoling and some feeling like it's gonna be okay. And I told him finally, and I showed him, like, Grandpa, I'm like a multi-millionaire. Like, we're chilling. Like, you don't have to worry. I will take care of our family.
I'll be honest, that's some Giga Chat shit. Oh yeah. Oh, if I could do this, nothing, man. Especially guys. I think guys know this for sure. When you can just tell your parents or your grandparents, I got this. I got you. That's it. The student has surpassed the master. I got you. Oh man. I think nothing is more Giga Chad than that.
Call me a softie if I cry again. But he told me, Michael, I'm so proud of you, but I want you to remember that at the end of the day, you're not going to want more money. You're going to want more time. Oh. And I think that it changed my brain. I actually think it changed my brain chemistry and how I think about life. I think you hit a point in life where money isn't everything and it isn't as important.
You can say that because, like you said, you reached that point in your life. But for the most part, for the people you're trying to address with what you're saying, that's not necessarily the case.
When I was building content, I was making a good income for years playing Destiny. And if you look, like, let's just go SPY and we just look at the state of something like the SPY. So I started content creation.
Oh,
like
SP 500, right? This is where a lot of people, like, you know, big time money invest.
All right. And my costs are pretty low. I bought a small house to get my family into around 2017, but I had like an apartment, didn't have a lot to my name. And right here, when I kind of went full time, is when I started making, you know, $200,000 to $300,000 a year, which at the time was like unbelievable. But my costs each year were like maybe like 25 grand. I think my mortgage was only like.
Why we're talking about this? Like, why is he flexing so hard? Boy, I'm renting a room. You over here talking about buying houses and investing in SP 500. I'm renting a room and I'm barely making it. The fuck is he talking about?
$1,400 because it's a small home in Canada. And I invested every penny that I had. And sometimes it went up. And then sometimes there was stuff like the lockdown that was super scary and you lose money. You know, I started gaining money. I lost all my money, but I just kept piling money into the market. And I started going from making $200,000-300,000 a year to making $200,000 in 3 months. And I started getting sponsorships that were paying me $15,000, $17,000, $25,000 USD. Like
that's when I stopped watching Mtashed. It was around these days.
20, 30 sponsors a month. And I'm piling money into the markets here. And so even if you don't take this growth, if you just take this growth here, I've doubled my money. And if you take this growth here, I've 5x'd my money. And if I was to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and I lived to be 150 years old, I would still have money. You know, it's because once you hit that point, once you have invested for as long as I have, it's already going on a decade of investing and of compounding and of growth. Even if I take out 5% a year and it keeps growing the market, like there's a point of no return where the number never goes down. And so even if I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, I will still leave my kids millions of dollars. And that's what people don't really get. And why am I saying this? Why am I talking about this? Because I want to go to the last point, that Tectone was a jealous loser of me from day one. And I want to have a little chat about this.
But if you made this amount of money, I'm pretty sure Tectone did the same thing.
Tectone.
Wait, he has Genshin Impact installed. Bro, is that Tower of Fantasy next to it? He still has those installed? What the fuck? I'm pretty sure that's Tower of Fantasy right next to it. Am I crazy?
Tectone was always inflammatory. He always was poking the bear. He was constantly shit-talking me. This is just one example. Oh, it's super quiet. I don't know why. He's saying, newsflash for you, kid. Please not bad. You're bad. 2 hours after I posted my review of this character, and he just instantly backpacks off of it and tries to dunk on me. And I had some very successful Genshin Impact.
Okay, it's time. This is gotcha time, chat. We got some gotcha time. All right. Klee, release day. We all know D-Luke was the best character. We all know D-Luke was the best character. Now, D-Luke was harder to obtain at the start than Klee, because Klee was just in the banner. But for D-Luke, you needed to either lose your 50-50 or grab him off the standard banner, which that's what happened to me. You want to know what's funny, chat? I was so unaware of gacha, I used to spend my Primo gems on the standard banner, because I like D-Luke and Jean. Those were the original banner. There it is. Oh, man, this takes me back. There it is, bro. There it is. This was the best picture for a banner they had for the standard. D-Luke and Jean. And D-Luke was definitely the chase character at the start. I think someone even wailed, I can't remember who it was, but he C6 D-Luke, and that was like a huge flex at the time because of how D-Luke was more versatile. And D-Luke really stood the test of time for the longest time until obviously falling out completely. I don't know where the buffs are at, but what I'm trying to say is D-Luke was obviously more accessible and somewhat better than Klee because you can always reroll for D-Luke. And also you could do that for Klee, but D-Luke was obviously more better because it's easier. Klee is small and very hard to play. She was very hard to play. For the most part, I feel like D-Luke is just a little more worthy of investment than Klee was at the start. But it doesn't mean Klee was bad. She's a decent second to D-Luke. Clunky, there it is, clunky. She's definitely clunky. She's slow. Most, I think, rectifier users and book users, they have books. They were very, very clunky. And except for Mona. Mona, I think, was very fast. Sucrose, too. But Klee was very clunky. D-Luke was not. And D-Luke was also taller characters. I think he could Dragon Strike, which was important. Stuff like that. So when you compare D-Luke to Klee, D-Luke was obviously better, in my opinion. And Klee doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that's not what we should be pushing instead of push for D-Luke. But if you don't get D-Luke and you get Klee, that's still fine.
Let me just bring up one, just to conceptualize this. If we look at my most viewed videos, I understand Genshin Impact is cringe. That's why I don't want to play it anymore. I don't like it. But I got a lot of views from Genshin Impact.
Absolutely.
Okay? On this
And money.
video, this video made like $32,000.
What the fuck? What? One video can make you this much money? I didn't know this. 32K? Are you fucking kidding me? What? This stuff, oh man, this makes a lot more sense now. Now I know why some people make these high production YouTube videos. How much Mr. Beast makes off one video, bro? What the fuck? Millions? Don't undermine me, man, with my $3. Fuck, I'm finna to throw hands. $3 making CCs matter too.
So at this moment in time, at the very start of the game, I'm posting a video. Every video is getting millions and millions of views. And Tectone was so tilted. He would repeatedly talk about these videos. This how to do 10 more damage. He reviewed this video, roasted me the entire time. He would do it on streams repeatedly. And eventually, I ended up calling him out. And I ended up calling him out because he just wouldn't stop. So this is a video where I called him out because he would constantly shit talk me. And at the time, I was a bigger streamer. And if we get into all that stuff, I was a huge streamer for Genshin Impact, and I had the most viewers for a long time until I called the game out. And the second that I did, all my viewers went away.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Oh, shit. Imagine that. Jesus Christ.
And then it came out later that Hoyoverse was viewbotting the directory. So I probably lost a bunch of my viewership because of viewbots. And I have never viewbotted in my entire life. And that's probably one of the reasons why I got screwed so much lately as well. I don't stream very much at all, and I don't want to ever cheat. And so my career is definitely floundering, where someone like Tectone has risen. And at this moment in time, I was a much bigger content creator. But I extend the olive branch multiple times, even though during this conversation, he is coming into this, and I'm kind of talking to him saying, I don't want this bullshit between us anymore, but also I talked to him about other creators, and I'm not going to go through this whole hour-long video, but he talks about Jinx Tuna, he talks about, I think, some Matt Jester guy, Damone Kim.
Oh man, those are OG names, bro.
He says it like 5 times. I never besmirch anyone. I never talk ill will, but, enviosity, but. He talks about all these people that some of them quit YouTube, whether it's his doing or not. That's up for debate.
Well, they hated him, so of course Tech isn't very kind to the people that don't like him.
But in a lot of cases, he just keeps saying during this, oh, I would never shit talk anyone. But he did.
That's a lie. That's just him trying to, everybody says that shit. Oh, I'm very kind and shit, but man, fuck that guy. It's like, yeah, sure. Look, people can be hypocrites when it comes to their emotional side. It's just the way it is. Because when you compare brain and heart when they speak, oh man, because sometimes people be speaking heart and sometimes people be speaking brain, and the contradictions in their actions is so crazy.
Okay, so then have you seen the streams where I constantly praise you and defend you?
Constantly praise you and defend you. Hold on, let's keep going. Do you know what? That's the thing is, no, because people are only going to share the shit, right? Exactly. Clip after clip after
100%.
clip of this guy shit talking me, but I was still willing to talk to him.
Yeah.
They're only going to share the shit.
So there's a Twitch spot from literally days ago.
Right.
Where multiple other content creators were attempting to throw slight shade.
Right.
And I was talking.
Which is true. There is, at the time, everyone was making comments about me. Being this random normie that came from Destiny playing gacha games, didn't know anything. Why is he getting 7 million views on his videos?
Of course they did. Of course they did. Duh. Dude, jealousy, man. I mean, this is applying to him too now, but jealousy is quite the fascinating phenomena to observe, man.
Completely understand it.
About how I think you are the smartest professional businessman in all of Genshin Impact.
I am the smartest, most professional businessman in all of Genshin Impact. I've always been kind of a business guy. And I understand that calling out these people is just not worth it in any way.
There's so much to dissect on this one, chat. I don't know about you guys, but there's so much to dissect on this one because first of all, it's like what he said. If you're a business guy, why the fuck are you doing this? This feels like it's against business. If you're a business guy, why can't you just really juice the fuck out of the game that gives you the most benefit, because that's the strategic thing to do. And if you're a business guy, well, why are you burning bridges so much? I don't know, man. But also, I think here's what I think. Now, this is kind of come off a little bit dickish, a little harsh, but I kind of have to. I think you're a business guy because you managed to have a ton of success in business due to the level of success you got through getting lucky in Genshin Impact. The reason why these guys hated you and being jealous of you, because that's the kind of the thing with the YouTube and the algorithm. The algorithm bless some and disregards others. That's just the nature of YouTube. Some people just take the fuck off. They just do. They just take the fuck off. They're not necessarily unique. They're not necessarily different. They do some shit that other people are doing, yet they get the success that others have been trying to get for so long. It's just a thing. It happens. And I think that's probably what happened here too. But that doesn't mean the others didn't get success. They did. I feel like Genshin Impact was so big that everybody could share the plate. But obviously, some got a bigger portion than others. And Mtashed was definitely one that got more. And people will obviously, shit on you for that. But the reality is, once you set yourself up and have millions of dollars, investing becomes very easy. Millions make more money. When you reach that level, money makes more money. Like it's just common sense. Like money makes more money. Therefore, you're immediately considered a businessman. But you're not necessarily a businessman, because real businessmen are the ones that really, really build it from the ground up through investment. Right? Fact is, what you're doing is good. What you're doing is great. There's passion. It's obviously, I'm trying to do the same thing. Everybody's trying to do something they're passionate about. And if God wills it so, you make some revenue off that can facilitate and have an easier time in your life. All right? But the fact is, you made a lot of money due to a huge surge in your channel due to the popularity of the game you were covering. You were one of the chosen ones in the algorithm. And when you make that much amount of money, it's very hard to fail in investment. So, and when you consider some of the behaviors you're exhibiting right now, and you compare it and you apply the I'm a businessman, I'm business oriented, it doesn't really click.
There's a voice in the back of my brain that also goes, fuck these guys. Not even as much Asmongold. Fuck Tectone. This guy has been the biggest piece of shit for the entirety that I covered Genshin Impact. Always has, always will be. But there's revisionist history of how all this went down, what happened in the future, and none of you will ever believe it, because if you didn't believe it by now, I will never convince you. But it's so crazy to see how fucking insane this dude was. And he just like...
The problem, I feel for Mtashed here, because when someone is too popular like Tectone, kind of have to respond. It's very hard to not respond. You can't just, whatever. You have to respond.
A lot of people think that this moment was where Tectone and I became friends, and he uses that against me. And I get it, because we had a big falling out with this other content creator, Hex Juice, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Chad, we're about to have some PTSD, bro. Shit.
I was emotional. I was tilted. That's what I do, baby. I get emotional and I start saying...
Shouldn't have that drama been a learning experience so that you do not do the same thing that puts you in trouble that one time and you just went ahead and did it again? Do you know how bad that makes you look? That makes you look like a child. Like you don't learn from your mistakes. What the fuck?
He made it sound like I'm this schizo, this absolute schizo, and maybe I am. But... he makes it sound like, oh, you faked our friendship for all these years? No, not necessarily. We had good moments. We played League of Legends together. You can see if you look at all our DMs, like there's a lot of times where we're talking and chatting and talking about, building our channels and different things. He invites me to play games many times.
That's cool.
And I brush it off many times because I'm just a busy dad. You can actually see it. Hey, you want to play this game? I'm at hockey with my kids. Hey, you want to do this? I'm away. Like, I wasn't super close with the guy by my own admission because I was always busy doing shit. And, I think there was a lot of time where he tried to be friends and we tried to be friends. I will be completely open with that. However, so this is a moment of him admitting, like, yeah, I dunked on you.
Is that I remember, I'm not gonna cap, way back in the day, I definitely 100% gave you unironically shit for your timestamp damage video, 100%.
Okay. He also talks about other creators, and, again, I just don't give a shit. I'm not going through an hour of this footage. If you want to go do it, I will make this public. You can go listen to it. But he talks about other creators multiple times, and I kind of keep going like, but does that need to be said? Does it need to be done? And during this first kind of 30 minutes, I am actively realizing this dude is never going to change. He's always going to shit talk people. He is always going to trash talk other people's content, and he's just like unapologetic about it. And even though that's the case, I agree during this video, like, let's be amicable about things, but I even extend an olive branch to the guy. And at one point here, we talk about money a little bit. 100 grand. So I made 100 grand, I said, this month. You're gonna be that fucking underwater. Like think of the, 21 million views was about $100,000. So you're telling, and what I'm talking to him about here is, if you're swearing in your videos and you're getting no revenue and you're not taking sponsorships and stuff, like, you're just leaving so much money on the table by swearing so much. And I'm talking on the business side of it. Now, listen to his reaction.
Canadian, right? Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Why does Americans always have to use this, you're Canadian? Like as you're a softie, try to diminish. I don't know. Why do you guys do that? Seriously. Do we have any Americans up in here, man? I think we need an American to explain to us the American way of dunking on Canadians, man, because goddamn, I don't know, why the hell do you guys do that? Like what? So all Canadians are softies? Then why does Canada have jail?
And wait, and off just YouTube?
Yeah.
We need to talk later.
He can't fail. Like, he can't fail. You made 100 grand in 1 month? Oh yeah. Well, how much? Here, no. You want to know the craziest thing?
I didn't make anywhere near that amount.
Well, because you swear to. much. He swears too much. But he's made millions since then. Like, don't get it twisted. He has made absolute millions. He's made more money than me. Did he invest his money as smart as I did? I have no idea. But he's probably made well more than me. His average viewership stayed up higher than me on Twitch. He did the whole OTK. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm not going to pretend I made more money than him. It's nothing about that. But when we ever first talked, I was already a millionaire. I was a millionaire by like 27, right? And so
Very impressive.
I talk about.
Okay,
I did talk with him. Well, I talked with him about the sponsorships. I even, at some point in here, a little bit later on,
I can't do
about sponsorships
content for things that I don't believe in.
Right,
and yeah, like I've probably passed well over $100,000-$200,000 worth of Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship because I hate that game so much.
Yes, it's funny. He dunks on Raid Shadow Legends as I'm doing a Raid Shadow Legends sponsor. Am I a sellout? Call me what you want. It is what it is, boys.
Business is business, and no one is going to shit on you for that
money
one.
off gaming and villainize me for it. Please don't victimize me. But I talked to him about sponsorships and how there's so much money being left on the table he doesn't even realize it. And I even put him in contact with a management team. That was my original managers back when they were AFK creators, and eventually went on to form Mythic Talent. He was a very networking person, incredibly good networking person. It seemed like everyone was friends with the guy or starting to collab with him. He was doing podcasts, and he uses that to paint me as this outsider that no one collabed with. I'm this weirdo that no one likes. I'm a schizo.
I'm gonna say something that might be bad, but not all collabs are good collabs. If you can't find good collabs, don't collab. You don't collab just for the sake of collabing. Not all collabs are good.
My big question is, or was everyone just scared of him? Because anytime someone stepped out of line or tried to hit back, he pulverized them. He's very good at doing it. And he's able to bully the shit.
But Smack did that and he didn't. I remember the Smack one. Smack called him out. Tech was wrong, and now they're friends. Smack is the only one that stood up to Tech, and it was fine because he had right on his side. If right isn't completely on your side, Tech is very hard to, let's just say, make understand your point. And the reason why I feel like that happens is because for the most part, people don't want to acknowledge where Tech is also coming from.
Shit out of people and scare them away, and they will never make a follow-up video like this because there's nothing to gain from this. I just instantly lose. The minute I made this video, I lost. And he's gonna make another video, maybe even two, because I've seen it time.
Also, come to think about it, collab is also under attack because of people's incentive to just tear others down to climb. If people are applying that, unless you have people that have the same mentality as you, that are tearing down the same ideology as you, for the most part, collabing is going to be very hard.
In time again. In fact, I winked in this video. Because time and time again, Tectone has friends. They're doing podcasts. They're collabing together. And the second things start to fall apart, the second things go a little astray, he throws them to the side. He shit talks them endlessly. He makes them cry potentially. There's so many things that this guy does. And I dunked on him. No, I say dunk and then you guys call me out on it. I made a wink in this video. I literally wink about a friendship falling apart because it had already happened 10 times. Tectone had been friends with someone, they got in a fight, they hate each other, they've always hated each other, it was never a friendship to begin with. Like, all this drama comes out again and again and again, and I wink about it. And he didn't make one video, he made like 2 videos, he did a multiple streams. It was 10 hours of schizo content trying to dunk on me and trying to say that I am the bad guy, and I ruined his life, and
Yeah, because that was gotcha drama at the time. That was the formula.
I've always been evil, and I made this person, Hex Juice, quit YouTube, which we'll talk about in a second.
Jesus. Man, I don't know about that one.
He says, you made Enviosity quit YouTube. Guys, the video that I made about Enviosity was, I understand that Mint Picker is like not
the Mint Picker, Chad.
You gotta have thicker skin. But at the same time,
there we go.
Tectone repeatedly saying, Enviosity, you're a Mint Picker. And me doing this now, he's gonna try to twist my words there and be like, oh, see, it's your fault. He's just a fucking inflammatory dick. He's just a bully. And some people can't handle it. Some people can't take that bullying or roll with the punches. And he's caused enemies and people to hate him because he's an asshole. And
here's the thing. The problem was Enviosity was being a douchebag. See, if Enviosity was this goody two-shoe, respectful, well-mannered, just a good little boy, minding his own business. No, Enviosity is a douchebag. He has been shown to be a douchebag. He has shown his true colors with the whole Atsu drama. Clearly, Enviosity is not necessarily a good person. He's not. He's willing to lie. He's willing to paint narratives in order to tear someone else down and tear their life down. So Does Enviosity deserve this? I would say probably, because his own actions led to people think that he does deserve this. Now, obviously, there's the clear internet shouldn't behave, sure, classic, sure, fair, but some people deserve some of the hate that comes at them, unfortunately. Shouldn't be the case, but some people should also watch what they say in order not to antagonize people where they start to think they deserve that shit.
He said that because I brought up the min picking thing, I'm the reason Enviosity quit. I'm the reason everyone called him min. Like he twists it and changes it, and he just revises and omits.
What made Enviosity quit is Enviosity. We all know that shit. No, everybody wants to claim credit for the kill because it's a bit of a flex online. Enviosity killed Enviosity. We all know it. And I think Enviosity is doing okay now. Am I crazy? I think he's covering new games. Like he moved on. Okay, so he averages 400, 350, I think is probably it. Pure Fiction. So he's still covering Hoyo games, huh? So he covers Genshin Impact. Okay, the Genshin Impact community just dropped him completely. Honkai Star Rail as well. So yeah, tough. Famous followers. They show I guess the content creators that follow him. Okay, what about his YouTube? But he's still around, right? This is recent. Yeah, this was yesterday. Like he still streams. He's back. He's here. Enviosity. Atsu quit, so Atsu is just completely gone. How Enviosity destroys their reputation. EXE Steorg. Oh shit. All right, here we go. 2 months ago, so apparently he was invited to some Fortnite stuff with Ninja. Wait, Ninja? Really? Wow. Doro 44, Fobmaster, etc. He obviously doesn't make much YouTube content. I don't know why. I think he's doing himself a disservice there. I feel like he should be a YouTuber first. But he is still bleeding followers. Every stream, he's bleeding followers. Yeah, it's going to be a hard comeback to make, 100%.
Things, and it's like, dude, over and over and over again, communities have talked out about Tectone, saying he's a piece of shit. And
Tectone's a dick. It's like Saint Tontas. Some people are just dickheads. You either tolerate dickheads or you find them funny, like I do. I think they're a good breath of fresh air. Asmongold, stuff like that. They're a bunch of dickheads. Like sometimes when they say shit, I'm just like, what a fucking prick. Oh my god, I start laughing, and that's it. Like I'm not gonna say that's the right behavior everybody should strive for. Hell no. But I think it's an important and necessary balance in the world because some people are like that, and you shouldn't be hard enough. Look, you should be look, men especially. You want to be dangerous in case you're provoked. I feel like all men know this. We want to feel like if provoked, I'm gonna fuck shit up. But we want to be disciplined where that's not our default. That's it. See, dickheads are a reminder that the world isn't all soft because we tend to forget about that, especially if you live in a Western society. Things are good, things are great. Everybody's just respectful. Everybody's making sure everybody's feelings are not hurt. Oh my God, right? That's very feminine. Men don't necessarily relate to that type of sentiment very much. I kind of do. I was raised by my mom mainly, so I'm kind of there. But besides that, also that's just the way you navigate society now. That's also very important too. Like you have to adapt accordingly. But dickheads and stuff like that is a reminder of how society is obviously a little different, and this type of skill set is very important to have. And it's a reminder that you should, be a little harder, a little thicker skin, stuff like that. It's very important stuff.
Every content creator is going to have haters. Just look at the comment section of my videos in the recent days. Dude, you're going to have more haters than people that like you, especially with my dead channel. But let's get back onto point here. It's a repeated pattern. It's a repeated pattern that communities dislike him and he moves away from it. It's a repeated pattern that he has friends that all of a sudden aren't friends. It's a repeated pattern that he joins OTK and then
people just throw the term friends loosely. They're acquaintances.
Half the people in OTK, he hates them. Or,
For example, I try to be friends with Tectone. Tectone keeps a certain boundary of we're acquaintances, bro. I'm like, all right, cool. That's it. I try to care because I appreciate some of the things he's done for me. I appreciate the message he tries to push. All things considered, of course, minus the controversies and some of the things that people kind of throw at him, of course. But all in all, I appreciate Techie. I do. And the thing is, I wouldn't call us friends because friends is a term that is it's quite the thing. Like friends are people, they hang out, they do activities together, shit like that. That's what they talk most of the time. That's not the case. Like I can't call me and Tech friends, but we're definitely good acquaintances. I try to have his back and I hope he can have my back. And that's it.
I'm just saying that it seems to be a pretty big pattern. And as someone that was dealing with this guy for years and years at this point, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, holy shit, this guy is seems to be the problem. If every room smells like shit, when you walk into the room, check your shoe.
True.
And there was other dramas. There was like the Atsu drama and Braxophone drama. There was all sorts of dramas, and I talked about these different things. And again, I'm not going to go through hours and hours and hours and hours of footage. But when these dramas happened, I didn't instantly side with Tectone, and I heard out what some of the other content creators were thinking and saying, and I knew that there was a shift right then with Tectone, and he thought, fuck, I don't have Mtashed under my boot. I don't have Mtashed in my corner. He is not going to defend me like some of my other little minions will. And the amount of content creators that are in his orbit that would shit talk me and talk trash, there was a bunch of them. But one of the ones that gets the most talk is this person, Hex Juice. And Hex Juice has now quit YouTube. And the history on this is now Mtashed is the reason that I quit.
No, Hex Juice quit because Hex Juice wanted to quit. Hex Juice realized that some of the things she associated with, and also the structure of her life, just didn't allow to keep this up. And she was like, man, fuck this, I'm out. Everybody knows this. Hex Juice didn't back out because two dudes went at it on her name. That's not why. She's back at school. She's doing what she needs to do. Hex Juice is obviously emotional. She's a little bit more on the sensitive side. She can't deal with this as she's dealing with that. And plus, I think she's married. They might even be planning to have kids or something. Maybe there's a new form of responsibilities in her life. God knows. So we don't know exactly what the fuck is why. Sorry, we don't know exactly what's going on in her life where we can go, oh, this is exactly why she quit. No. And I think considering some of the context she added before quitting, sounds like more of my life structure more than this internet beef.
What ended up happening was Tectone and Hex Juice got into a massive argument on stream. She was like crying. She DMs me and is in my stream because I was kind of reacting to it like, what the fuck is going on? I thought they were friends. And she's talking to me and I was kind of just like,
so if I remember correctly, because I remember this shit, he was talking about this on stream and she wanted to correct things. She wanted to clarify things because apparently he had it wrong or something. And she was trying to avoid that very situation, because I remember talking to Hex about this. She was trying to avoid this very situation, but it ended up blowing up anyway. Because Mtashed was trying to use that as an attempt to dunk on Tectone. Because at the time, Mtashed, he started to see the downward spiral. And he tried to make a bounce through Hex Juice, but he made it worse. It didn't work.
why is this person getting into a fight with their friend to the point that she's tearing up? Again, it just seems weird. And you can call me a white knight, but yes, it was a bit of a breaking point. I'm like, why the fuck does this keep happening? What is wrong? And I watched the stream. I reacted to it. We ended up getting into a massive, massive fight. But here's the thing. People are saying like, oh, you're a white knight. You defended this Hex Juice person. The only interactions I had with Hex Juice initially was her trying to roast me. And even in her
Oh, the chick. You guys remember? That's how we got to know Hex Juice. I remember covering that shit. That shit was fun. I remember them days. Those were some damn good days.
Document that she released after the fight, after there was this big falling out, and this moment where she jumps in the call and kind of ambushes me and acts like a snake. I make the comment, whatever Stockholm Syndrome friendship you want to have is up to you. Something along the lines of that. And it's so fucking funny because that's exactly what it fucking was.
That kind of aged well. Because ultimately Hex Juice turned on Tech. So there's a good, because Hex Juice isn't stupid. She obviously recognized some, because she said so too. She recognized some of the negative traits about Tech for a long time. And she kept quiet because had she spoken, she would have been attacked. So technically, in a way, it's not Stockholm Syndrome, but there's definitely some keeping some stuff to her in her chest whilst pretending to be friends and shit. She obviously was a bit of a fake towards Tech. I think we can all say that.
Tectone, he called me out, he called me schizo, he called me crazy, he called me a white knight, I ruined this person's career. She then comes out and makes a document. And now,
God damn, holy flashbang.
The harassment from the other creators' audience was vicious and Tectone didn't really have my back. This is a reference to me. The first interaction I ever had with Hex Juice was her calling me stupid. Was her making a 20-minute long video calling me dumb. And so I was not nice to her. I had no fucking reason to be nice to her. But then, here's the best part. We talked. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I dunked on you. I wasn't nice talking about you because you weren't nice talking about me. It is what it is. But we kind of squashed it. She then made a
He said this chick. And that was enough for Hex. Dude, Hex is such a flower, man. I remember that, man. Hex is such a delicate flower you just want to protect, bro. But see, it's a flower that is very talkative. You got a mouth. I miss Hex, man.
She then goes on to say, My own naive loyalty to a friend, aka Tectone, all of this stuff starts to talk about this. Feeling pressured to side with him. Feeling like, yeah, some of the manipulation tactics are very obvious in this friendship. Even talking about the stuff that happened with Pinky Chew. And, you know, Enviosity threw a jab towards Tectone about his marriage. And it fucking...
It's not a jab. That's a shotgun. That was a shotgun. He set it off. He ended up blowing his own face off, but that was a goddamn shotgun.
So I'm not going to touch on it fully. I'm just trying to tell you why these things are going around and why there is this like up in the air thing, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions on his relationships and I don't know the full story. What I do...
I remember when it was weird to talk about someone else's relationship, and now it has been completely normalized. I remember Tectone calling me out for commenting on the relationship as it was starting, but now everybody's talking about it and no one is weird for that shit. Like what happened for this social shift for that to become normal? And even other CCs try to call me out saying, no, you're just being weird, bro. I'm like, really? It's like in certain spaces, I think that was fine. And where I come from also, that's also fine. You know, I come from a, let's just say from a culture that enjoys gossip. We gossip a lot. And so I really thought my things, you know, things were normal. And I see that in other places in the internet as well, but that wasn't the case in the gotcha space. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Okay, my bad. I'll take full responsibility. My bad, man. And fast forward, everybody's now talking about it, making YouTube videos about it and everything. And no one is weird for that shit. I'm like, God damn, what the fuck happened? I guess that part of the internet grew and it reached the gotcha space too.
He is a piece of shit and he always fucking will be. And I don't care if you take his side or mine. That is why I'm making this video, because it's just the facts. It's just the truth. And you can call me a piece of shit for so many reasons. Whether you say, oh, Mtashed, you promoted gotcha and gambling to kids. Well, I also critiqued all the monetization. I went free to play and I never...
Oh, well, you can't do that because Hoyo shit, man, whatever.
Never spent money again in the game. But Tectone did. Tectone spent tons of money. Dude, he lived like the same life beside me. And when he starts making these videos about me, here's the funniest part is when he started making these videos. I think he does it in this one. I think he did it in some of the recent ones. He's always trying to be like, oh, and guess what? I'm also gonna have kids and get married too, because you wish you were me, Tectone. And he twists it like,
maturing and growing up is realizing, for the most part, maturely speaking, most adults have never graduated 8th grade. That's so true. That's so true. I keep going. Dude, that line changed my life. It was such a wake-up call. You wish you were me. What the fuck?
I don't give a shit if you believe me. You're so embarrassing. It's crazy. And I'm not scared of you and I'm not scared of your audience. Because at the end of the day, my channel's dead anyways. What do I gotta lose?
A man that has nothing to lose is very dangerous. Unless you're as soft as Mtashed.
I'm just gonna leave this video up. You guys can watch it, you can dunk on it, have your fun. But at the end of the day, I am gonna just most likely move on, and I might even just cover Genshin Impact. I think my channel is so cooked. I might just make videos and then make a completely other channel. I don't even know what it'll be on, or I might just milk the Genshin stuff and not make a channel and just fucking retire because I don't need more money. Believe it or not, just because your content
why would you cover Genshin?
Content that's like, you know, it's like you trying to pay for legal fees.
Does he have a YouTube addiction? Does he have, like, he just can't quit YouTube? Is that it?
I am very comfortable where I'm at, and I could do other stuff. And I don't think that this will change anyone's opinion, because there's so much...
By the way, the Genshin fans are dead subscribers. They moved on from you. It's like me when I don't stream for a long period of time. It's like recently. I haven't streamed in quite some time. My numbers are gonna suffer from that, because people move on.
Evidence out there. There's so many videos out there talking about Tectone and what a piece of shit he is. And it just doesn't matter. And that's fine. It's all good. But I just wanted to give my final hurrah here, because I didn't even talk about this stuff when the Hex Juice stuff happened. I just shut my mouth because I know I can't win. It's impossible to win. It's such an interesting position to be in.
They don't play. They just don't play. Like, why are you? You know what? There's the incentive now. Okay.
Where it could be used as an infinite money glitch. If he makes a video and then
You are doing the same thing with video games, bro. It's like, why are we trying to
critique it and say, no, okay, that's a lie. He just makes another video and another video. And you can't win unless you're the last video. And because I don't care
I guess what he's trying to say is that it's an incentive to why this bad behavior that I disagree with keep happening. This is bad for society, and what I'm doing is not harming anybody. You know what? In that regard, sure.
At the end of the day, I'm not going in on Asmongold. I'm not gonna roast that guy endlessly. I'm not even gonna fucking mention Tectone again after this video because I just don't want. I didn't want to.
He's quitting again. We all know what happens when Mtashed says, "I'm quitting." That shit does not age well. That shit changes immediately. Yeah, so he said he's not going to talk about Tectone again. Let's place some bets. How long do you guys think this will last? I think it will last like 6 months tops. We'll have him back. He'll be talking about it. He'll be like, I know I said I'm not going to talk about Tectone, but I just have to.
Hassan, Asmongold, SUC,
Yeah.
Tectone, me, no fucking content creator that has succeeded is even living in the same world. They're not living with the same struggles.
Yes.
And, you know, they're just grifting to make videos and to make money on these topics. They're talking about these things with no skin in the game.
Well, they don't have a skin in the game, but they're knowledgeable about it because that was their reality at some point in life. So therefore, it doesn't discredit their opinions whatsoever. Like they know what they're talking about. And I feel like that's why people relate to them a lot. And also, they relate to them more because they've been where they were and they've changed it and became successful, which is what a lot of people aspire to do, which is very important. Like you want to listen to the person that has what you want and not the person that's kind of in a similar position, if not worse, especially if worse. All right. That's very, very scary.
They could have retired years ago. They have no skin in the game on housing prices because they already own their houses. They already have millions in investments. They don't give a fuck what happens, but they keep making the content and they keep talking about these things. And, you know, when one of them steps up and actually, you know, runs for Congress, runs for a local mayor, actually tries to make change in their neighborhood.
They don't have to. They can just use the influence they've garnered online to change. And let's just say they become that very in the shadows, powerful type of influence in politics, which is good. I mean, we've seen even Trump being in a Aiden Ross stream. You guys remember that shit? Just to, you know, touch on people online and get votes. So yeah, influence is powerful.
That's when I'll actually respect.
They don't have to
you know, kind of what they're saying.
influence. They don't have to be there
Exact same
directly.
thing about me because we're all mentally ill hypocrites. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.
There's some truth to that one, the last one, but all in all, I guess that's not necessarily the case for everybody. So yeah, man, I guess that was it. That was Mtashed. There's some good sprinkled there, but all in all, I think for the most part, it's a bit of a shit show. Yeah, it's sad to see, man. It really breaks my heart because the nostalgia is kind of ruined a little bit because they ruined like you know, the OG parts of what really made me personally to be a gacha creator. It sucks. It really does. So yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Be seeing you.